Wellness is living. It's a constant roller coaster. It's never the same. It's never a goal. It's never like a check mark. I got that off the box. It's an everyday thing. It's living. You can get so down and encourage that like negativity to suck you into that abyss if you don't do anything. So sometimes you just have to get the gears cranked. And if you
Hmm.
don't want to do it, just do it. Whether
Hmm.
it's like doing something in your house, cleaning this, doing your laundry, going out in nature is huge. Me and my husband have always been just like drinkers, and it's never really been negative for us. But like we're getting older and physically, it's like you're putting like really shitty gas in your car and you're fucking up your engine. And so we're like, okay, we're gonna slow down. And so January was slowing down and I've never slept better. I've woken up more clearer and just eat. It's a better place to be.
Welcome to the Collaborative Resource Hub by Wellness Provisions. We're bridging the gap between mental health, wellness, and rock and roll. I'm Amy McBride, owner of Wellness Provisions, the most badass wellness business. Hey, are you feeling a little stuck in life? I offer wellness coaching sessions. Book a session with me if you're seeking to get healthy and ahead. Sessions are available worldwide. And check this out. Wellness Provisions supplies rock and rollers with high-quality supplements. We've simplified your shopping experience and given you a trustworthy place to go where you can essentially shop blindfolded. And did you know all our Collaborative Resource Hub interviews air on YouTube as well as all major podcast platforms? Subscribe to stay in the loop. Go immerse yourself in the full Collaborative Resource Hub experience over on our website. You'll have access to helpful resources that will inspire and educate you. So let's inspire each other. If that guy did it, so can you. Last but not least, my legal disclaimer. Nothing in this interview or the Collaborative Resource Hub substitutes medical advice. Please connect with your GP if you need medical guidance. Brenna, thank you for being here. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I am doing great today. It's a good day.
Good. So let's just jump right in. What does wellness mean to you?
Wellness is it's living. Wellness is living. It's a constant roller coaster. It's never the same. It's never a goal. It's never like a check mark. I got that off the box. It's a constant not a struggle. What's the word I'm looking for?
Like an ebb and flow.
Yes, exactly. It's an everyday thing. It's living.
Yeah. You know what? You're the only person that I can think of that's ever stated it that way. And I love that because it's drawing like highlighting the fact that like it's not like you reach this like perfection point.
And you're done.
Like, oh, I'm healed. I'm perfect now. Like there's
Yeah.
always something that you're working with.
I was thinking about that the other day when I was getting just ready for my daily life and just think about the questions and what I'm going to say. And I'm trying to be healthier physically now. It's always people when you get older, you always do that. And I'm going, okay, like if this was at the gym, because people should treat the mind like it's another organ, but it's different. Like if you're at the gym and you're like, you reach your target, whatever it is, your weight, your muscles, whatever it is, you check box and you're like, okay, now I'm just maintaining. It's not like that with mental health. There's never like a check box. You're like, I'm good and I can maintain this. It's just every day it's a maintain. It's different. It's a different animal.
Yeah. And it's funny because I keep like hearing like I'm currently doing like this, like I put myself on it. It's like a 28-day like intense healing thing that I'm doing. So part of what I'm doing is making a point to listen to some like podcast or watch something on YouTube, which are things I don't normally do. That's like inspiring or like motivating or healing or whatever. And I've been hearing lately how like there's days where you just don't feel good.
Yeah.
Your mood is low, your energy is low. And like, even me, and like, I do wellness coaching stuff, but still I'm like, I'm supposed to feel great every day. And it's like,
No. No.
your energy, like, especially if you've had a really great, productive high day, then like the next day is probably going to be about the opposite.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's ebb and flow. It's you can crash. Yeah. It's yeah, it's never like you never check that box and it's always trying to get that box checked, but it's never gonna get checked.
Did you used to try and check that box, or did you always kind of have that perspective?
I don't know. I think I've evolved to always have this perspective because I never realized I had it. Maybe I know when I was younger, uh like younger, like pre-teens or mid-teens, I know I wasn't, I don't know, whatever you call normal, but I knew like I had depression, and like I was, I had sad, terrible thoughts as a child, like I don't want to be here anymore, like I'm so emotional, and like and I just like, I don't want to be here, like I don't want to physically be here anymore. And I remember telling myself like, that's not reality, that's just chemicals in your brain triggering something to make you feel a certain way. That's not how life is. So I told myself when I was a preteen, like, just make it to your adult years, like 21, 22, when these chemicals aren't messing with your adolescence anymore, and you're even, make it then, and then make a decision, So that was the only like checkbox I had to like get to here. But ever since that, it's always just been, some days are good, some days are bad. And for me, the bad days, how I deal with them is embrace them. And it's different for everybody. Sometimes people shouldn't embrace them because it's dangerous for them.
Right.
But I swim through the morose. Like I had a really bad, heavy, like something sitting on my chest day. And instead of trying to like make it better, I enjoyed the sadness and lived through it. And I have a great partner. He doesn't ask like, how can I make things better? He just goes, well, that sucks, and he lets me go through it,
Yeah.
which is what I need.
Exactly. But I think even that awareness, and really remembering that like it will pass, like this is
Mhm.
momentary, like this heaviness that's like, sitting on you is not forever.
No, it's not. And that's one thing that as I get older, I've learned through just it's experience. You don't know it until you go through it, and what
Mhm.
works for you. Um, it took me a while to kind of figure that out, and I'm still figuring out. I don't know. Maybe there's something that's going to change in the future. Like, like like the quote says, the future's unwritten. Nothing is set in stone. And I take a kind of peace in that, knowing that I have no control. It's it just let it go.
Yeah. So what do you do on the good days and or the more difficult days to like make yourself feel better or to balance stress levels or just, to like feel good as you can?
Yeah. Um, I mean, I always try to find joy, like the things that make you like, you can just trigger an instant like, and sometimes it's a band-aid, and sometimes it actually gets you to a place where you can enjoy the rest of the day. But for me, this is so dumb and cheesy and obvious, but dogs, like that is my, like my happy zone. I've got three, and it's just a moment of peace, like when they're next to me and like laying on me,
Yeah.
um, and petting other people's dogs, and just I go to just this happier place. And also doing things. You can get so down and encourage that like negativity to suck you into that abyss if you don't do anything. So sometimes you just have to get the gears cranked, and if you
Hmm.
don't want to do it, just do it. Whether
Hmm.
it's like, doing something in your house, cleaning this, doing your laundry, calling that person you didn't want to call, going out in nature is huge. It's like, go get some vitamin D, go get some sun, go be around a tree, something green. That's an
Uh-huh.
instant trigger. Like
Yeah.
dogs, nature, and then Disneyland for me because I live right there. So it's I'm very fortunate for that. Just go out and make some magic.
Yeah. Even like, it's funny, just getting up, let's say like you're sitting on your sofa and you
Mhm.
just feel shitty or something, moving
Yeah,
to a different room or
huge.
walking around the block night and day, just
Yeah,
literally those two things.
yeah. It's like it's unlocking your brain that's stuck. And all you have to do is go just push it a little forward, and
Mhm.
that momentum will kind of spiral into getting that off.
Yeah. And literally getting like the energy moving and
Hmm.
also just changing visually like what you're, consuming
Yeah,
makes, yeah, it like changes the brain.
yeah.
Yeah. Was there, I guess, like, is it like your teens, preteens, or has there been any other point where you sort of like had to put yourself first? Otherwise, like you just things weren't going to be great. Like you had to make yourself a priority.
Oh, I never thought about that. Um, I think maybe I grew into it. Yeah, probably from teens to being the adult, like, because then you start having ownership of things. Because when I was younger, I was, and everybody thinks like this too, like, wow, when I was younger, like, I didn't care about anything, and like, you would do dangerous stuff, and you're like, I don't care, I have no fear. But then you get fear when you get older, because you have things that you treasure, that you've worked for, that you enjoy, like your relationships, and even like tangible things, like, the guitar that I like or whatever. And so you treasure those, and then you fear of losing those. So that's when I guess I started to maybe put myself first, because maybe when I was younger, I had less fear about losing things. And so I would try to help others in need, or that were maybe pulling me down, that were like just dragging me with them into the abyss. And then I realized, like, I have to take care of myself first before anybody else gets help.
Yeah.
Because and I always think too, even my friends nowadays, I kind of always measure them like, if they're not putting my needs first, why should I put their needs first? And then that abusive cycle. So um this sounds really crass, but I have no problem cutting people from my life. Like, it sucks and it's hard, and I'll go through the emotions of it, but it's so easily done, because what, if they're not a friend, then why should I be a friend? And so that's, yeah, the very much putting myself first will increase my life and those around me, and we'll all lift each other up.
Yeah, it's a ripple effect.
Yeah. I don't know who it was. This is some random thing, and I really don't remember. I think it was Oprah or something. Like, it was some blurb years ago. It's don't surround yourself with people that don't lift you up every single day and make you better. Like, I shouldn't have to like be myself just so you can take a piece of me to make yourself worth it. That's not who I want to surround myself with. I want to surround myself with people who make me lifted.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, what you're talking about there, I mean, like, you recognize that like a lot of people struggle with that and have such difficulty putting themselves first, and like having those like healthy boundaries and parameters where it's like, don't let yourself get walked on or taken advantage of or just like treated like crap, because then like your brain gets so used to it, and then you just become so detached from
hmm
an ideal reality versus the reality you're in, where it's like, you have more trouble getting out of it. So that's
Yeah,
like,
and you keep breeding that toxicity. Like, it's, oh, I don't want
yeah,
to ever go there ever again.
yeah. How do you deal with like curveballs in life, or like, just shit talking or anything, like just negative like feedback or just that kind of stuff? How do you process that?
I swear to you, I don't know why. I love shit talking. Like, on me. Like, there's like, I cross my fingers. I really hope that I'm successful with the music that I do. But if I would get famous, like famous, I would love like comments. Like, I love trolls, and I think it's my ego. I have a really weird, healthy, unhealthy ego, where like I'm very self-loathing and I don't like who I am and blah blah blah. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm really cool. Like, this is awesome. So like, when people like talk about me, even if it's the worst, I'm like, yeah, talk about me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't explain it. Like,
But
one of these
it's like how they say though, there's no like, oh my God, now I'm drawing a
bad
blank.
publicity.
That, yeah,
Yeah.
because they're still talking about you. They still see you.
I mean, I'm sure there might be a line where something said that actually gets me hurt. But I remember this one comment on YouTube. It was something like, some person said, "Oh, she really showed her stepdad." And I was like, my parents love me. And you're right, I never knew my stepdad. I don't know him because I don't have one. I love that negative. Yeah, okay, if I have to analyze it, it's probably because it reflects on how happy I am, because I don't leave those comments. I don't feel like I need to indulge that. So it gives me a measuring stick of like, I'm not there. I'm over here. I'm doing good.
Yeah. And
It's
it's
a
also,
reinforcement.
it is absolutely. And to even like look at it further, I don't want to say like the flip side of it, because it's not, but like also the fact that like whoever's leaving that kind of comment, like you really can, you want to respond. I mean, most people with like
Oh
frustration,
yeah,
but
you
it's
want to.
like they're clearly hurting, like something's not right in their life,
Yeah.
because it's like, who does that?
Yeah, I deal with a lot of negativity in my day-to-day work. I deal with like the public and retail, and for the most part, I have a lot of positive people, but I get some just nasty, nasty, like venomous, shooting at me. And I have a pretty thick skin. And I just kind of think at the end of the day, I'm like, wow, like really, they go home sad, angry. They go to bed angry. They wake up like that's so. I feel sympathy. That's just wow. That's not a good life.
Yeah. Sucks.
Yeah. In
So
the
like,
meantime, I'm over here with 3 dogs, going to Disneyland, playing video games, going on tour, being with my friends, like being happy. Like I don't. Yeah, I'm not in their world.
but that's it though. Like your perspective, like your, some people, well, I guess it's like, the glass is half full or half empty kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like you have a positive outlook. Have you always had that, or has it just been something that has,
No.
cultivated with age?
Yes, it is. It is like wine. It gets better. No, I still am, but I used to be a very morose, nihilistic kid, and I still am. I like to describe myself as the most positive nihilist, optimistic nihilist. Yeah, like I love love. I love like I'm the person like I'll cry at weddings. Like when I go to Disneyland and I see fireworks, and when they do this fake snow, I swear to God, I cry. Like it's so magical. But at the same time, I'm just like, this world's never gonna change. Everything's terrible. Nothing means anything. Why are we even here? We're just an infestation. Like I get so negative, but like happy. And I think when I was younger, I was very just this. I was very like, nah, nothing cares. And like I said, as you get older, you have things that you treasure and you like and you want to protect. And that's where the happiness comes from because I earn those, and those are my rewards of living.
Yeah. And also like, well, that's it. Experiences, changing your outlook. And then also the fact that like, I mean, younger years, but like your brain, continues to develop, and like,
Yeah.
it's not all like me anymore. So like,
Yeah.
you have the actual ability to, to care for others and stuff. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's funny because I mean, that's like how I am. I used to be like super like a nihilist and cynical, but I
Yeah.
erred on the side of realism, but like
Yeah.
people, like you're still cynical. And so now that's still kind of like my core,
Yeah.
but like I I'm a lot, I don't know. There's more joy, and like I appreciate more, and like,
Yeah.
that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Same, same.
Yeah. Here's an advert in less than 50 seconds. Are you sick and tired of feeling sick and tired? Do you want to feel better in your mind and body? Then check out the wellness coaching that I offer. It's kind of like therapy. You can share what's on your mind, and then it's all about taking action. You'll learn new tools to help you heal and grow through what's tripping you up. We can focus on anything from physical health to mental health. Schedule a free 15-minute consult over on the website to learn more. And check out our Healthy Touring course. This self-guided online video course is for any level of musician. Whether you tour all the time or only sometimes, you'll learn a ton if your goal is to play better, feel better, and be better. With special appearances by members of Descendants, Teenage Bottle Rocket, The Last Gang, The Lawrence Arms, and more. Head over to the website for all the details. Now, back to the interview. What other kind of stuff do you do that like just like makes you feel good? Or is there anything healthy that you've started doing that like improves your creativity?
I'm still experimenting. I don't know if it improves my creativity, but I did the whole like dry January thing. And I've never done that before. Me and my husband have always been just like drinkers, and it's never really been negative for us. But like we're getting older, and physically, it's like you're putting like really shitty gas in your car, and you're fucking up your engine. And so we're like, okay, we're gonna slow down. And so January was slowing down, and I've never slept better. I've woken up more clearer and just eat. It's a better place to be. And we had the Super Bowl party a couple days ago, and drinking all day, got annihilated. Wake up the next morning going, oh, like everything hurts. Like
Yeah.
and then the night after we went back to going like to no drinking. I'm like, that's so much better. But I don't know what's going to do with my creativity because it's still a new experiment. I don't know where my brain is going to be. Because after you stop drinking, your brain releases different like reactions and chemicals, and your thinking is completely different, and it probably won't be settled for a couple years. So I don't know. It's going to be a new experiment.
Interesting. I didn't realize like it took like that long for things to like
Well, that's
balance.
what I've heard from several of my friends who were have gotten sober and were heavy drinkers, and it was affecting, affects your brain chemistry hardcore. And
Yeah.
a lot of the research that they're finding out is that you don't really settle into like normal or what you're going to be for about a year or so. Like
Crazy.
it's still going to be like triggering stuff in your head for that
Yeah.
long time. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see. And we're writing an album now, so I have no. We're gonna. This is the experiment. It's the grand experiment.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting though.
I know.
That's
And
cool.
we've been doing. I've been experimenting with because I have really bad sleep issues. Like I could not sleep if I had the choice. But trying edibles instead. I
Mhm.
don't do good on weed. I've tried. I go to a weird trippy place of panic. So I've been doing like very, very, very microdosing with like edibles where I'll eat like the size of a grain of rice and that gets me like high. And that's been helping a lot for January and just going to bed. That's my treat. Like end of a
Mhm.
long day, I deserve something. I have candy and all the fizzy water and nuggets and dogs and video games and then edibles. That's my treat at the end of the day instead of a glass of wine or a bottle of wine.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's so that's yeah, I mean, I just think it's cool because with the Super Bowl thing, how that put in perspective, like it's sort of like it's an elimination diet. So it's like you did all this period of time without the thing, you reintroduce it and to see how it like affects your body. And then you're
Mhm.
like, wow, yeah, like I don't want that.
Yeah. I I kind of not a rule I live by, but I've noticed I have lived by it. When things outweigh the bad and the good. This is how I used to be in relationships before I was married. Because I didn't have the best relationships. Sometimes they're toxic, but they gave me what I needed. So there's the good and the bad. And when the bad starts to outweigh the good, then my brain goes, I don't want to do this anymore. And that's kind of what happened with reintroducing the drinking on the Super Bowl. It was like, or the whole month of January, it was like, well, the bad is like I don't feel good physically. My brain's cloudy. There's all these things that could be dangerous. If I get pulled over, if I have anything in my system, I can't go to Canada with the band. I can't do this. I can lose all these things. And the good is not good anymore. Like I don't enjoy this. So like that's the flip. And then when I had it, I was like, oh yeah, that's the bad. I don't. There's no joy in it for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
That's awesome.
But it's not that easy sometimes for people. And it took me a while to kind of get to that point. And I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Maybe I won't stick with it, but it's like I said, it's a new experiment.
And it sounds like you're really good at listening to whether it's like mind or body, what is working for you in this moment.
Yes,
And
in
then
this moment.
until the next moment. And then you
Hmm.
regroup.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So what's like, I don't think I've ever really asked anyone this question, but it popped in my head with you. What's something awesome that you have learned or are learning in your relationship with your dude?
Oh, something like new that I've learned.
Yeah, like as far as like, conflict resolution or communication or whatever.
I don't think I've learned anything. It's been such like we look at each other still. Like we've been almost married 10 years and we look at each other like every once in a while going like, are you sure? Like, who are you? Like really? Like we're so baffled by how this has lasted. Like, because we're the same person. We're very headstrong. We're very like just I don't know, but I don't know if I've learned like why we work. We work. I have wait, maybe I will say I waited. I wasn't like looking to fill a need, a void of like finding somebody to make me complete because I am complete and I need somebody to help me lift up my life instead of take away from me, they're adding to me.
Yes.
And before that, I had my best friend, this girl named Kate Hart Bitter Squeaks. She's a magical person. And I met her when I was like 12 and she's been the love of my life. And I was content with that. I was like, I have somebody I truly love and brings me this connection that not a lot of people have. So I think once I was okay with like, that is the rest of my life and I'm totally fine and I'm complete, that's when things will come your way.
Yeah. I'm just processing what you said. I love that.
Like,
It's
I think that's why I love him and he loves me too. Like, we don't need each other. I don't
Mhm.
need him. I can go on tour for a month. I'll miss him. It'll hurt, but I don't need him to complete me. And vice versa. Like, he has a job that he does wrestling too, and he has another day job where he travels. And sometimes I don't see him for a week or days at a time. He's doing his wrestling classes, and I'm not going, "Where are you? I miss you. I need you to be here and like make me feel better." Like, I enjoy missing him. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the ideal place to be where like you're good with yourself. And
Hmm.
my analogy that I use for that is like a cell phone, for example. You are a fully functional cell phone, but your cell phone cover might be all glittery and cool looking. And like your phone works fine without the cell phone
Yeah.
case or whatever. But the case, like, makes it cool. Like you like the case.
Oh, babe, you're a cell phone case. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just makes it's an addition, not a subtraction.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I know I'm the same with him. Like, my personality wouldn't be comfortable with somebody who needs me to make them better. Cause then I would go, what's wrong with you? Why do you need me? And then I don't want to be with you. And then does that say something about me? I'd be constantly questioning and unhappy. Like, I know he doesn't need me to be himself.
yeah, yeah,
That's the key for me.
yeah. I mean,
I
it's a
think
huge
in
one
most relationships too. Yeah.
because I mean, it's true. Like you can't be with someone who would be like suffocating you.
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
that's cool. So, is there any like you mentioned like with the edibles and sleep, do you have anything else that you do for like a sleep routine, like good sleep hygiene? Like, do you use like a eye mask, sleep mask at
Oh
night?
yeah.
Okay.
I definitely have an eye mask. He got it for me one year for like Christmas or my birthday. It's my favorite thing. It says just fuck off on the eye mask. And my bandmates love it when we fly because I'm just in the seat with this mask that says fuck. And I forget it's on there sometimes. And they see people looking at me like, oh no, okay, don't talk to her. So yeah, definitely an eye mask. I can't not do it. Um, he likes to sleep with noise, TV, blue lights, and I can't. I have
Yeah.
to be in like, I don't know how people do that. That's insane.
But really, like, it's not good for your brain.
It's not,
It's fucking bad.
but he can't sleep without it. So that's been my life for 10 years. Like, we're always battling, like, turn the TV down. What's 10's good. Don't go over 10. Like, so I think now, going on the road too with the band, because a few of my guys snore like bad. So I have earbuds to listen to white noise so I don't hear anything. I can do the TV because I have a face mask on, so it blocks out blue light. So we find a balance with that. Um, yeah, I definitely have to have a face mask. And I I have melatonin. I probably take too much because I said I'm not a good sleeper. I've never slept well ever since I was a young kid. Like, I've always had issues, but I'm trying other stuff. Some people say go outside in the morning, get
Yes.
sunlight. That's you're telling your body this is morning. Don't just like be in your car around sunlight. Go see sunlight, breathe it
Yeah.
in for 5 minutes, and it'll help start your day and get your clock running.
Yeah, it's true because I mean it's going to help. Like, morning sunlight is part of, I mean, it's one slice of the pie of your circadian rhythm. So it's also
Hmm.
going to like signal serotonin to start increasing and like your daytime kind of brain chemicals and stuff. And then
Hmm.
the morning sunlight makes it so that your melatonin production, in the evening happens at the right time. Like, it's like it
Yeah.
has to be level. Yeah, totally.
So that's part of this new experiment I've been doing too. So that and trying to take less melatonin. I still have some supplements my friend told me about from Target from like Welly or something.
Mhm.
And they don't have melatonin in them. I didn't read the label exactly. That's not the best, but I didn't. But that helps. And also just accepting now that I'm not drinking, even if I only get like 3 hours sleep, I'm still waking up in the morning feeling better than having 10 hours sleep because I love sleeping. I can do 10, 12 hours. I sleep better and wake up. So I accept like last night I went to bed at 4 a.m. I just laid in bed while he was asleep, just watching like Family Guy and stuff, 7 episodes deep. And I'm going, okay, it's 4 o'clock. And I wasn't stressed about it. I wasn't panicking, going, go to bed, go to bed, go to bed. I just knew, like, even if I go to bed now, I haven't been drinking. I'm going to wake up in like 5 hours and feel more refreshed than I have. Like, it's okay to not sleep.
Yeah. I mean, there's like, in general, for people listening, like you do want to shoot for consistent sleep, but
Yeah.
in those kind of moments, like the random like off moments or something, like, I mean, I've had where like I laid in bed, truly I was awake for, I mean, I got 0 hours of sleep like this one night. It was like after a
Yeah.
show, and like it's just like there's all this stuff going on and like zero. So it's like your body can handle that, but yeah, like consistently. And
Yeah.
that's the other funny thing too, is like when you start like anxiously thinking like, oh no, I need to be going to sleep, you're done for.
Yeah. It's you. Yeah. Once that's triggered, my mom always used to say when I was a kid, it's cute as fucking shit. If I didn't go to bed at a certain time, she said, oh, the sleepy train has left the station. So she's like, you have to catch the train before it leaves the station. And I that's true. Like, I have to wait, and I'm sitting on the couch, I'm waiting for like that little woozy. I go, gotta go to bed now. Because if you miss that window,
Yeah, you get that second
it's
win.
yeah, you get, so you have to listen to your body. Like, when you're sleepy, go to bed. Don't keep watching the TV or playing the video games or writing music. Like, I have to go.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I struggle with, because sometimes I'm like, no, I want to stay out here more and not go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah. Pick your battles.
Yeah.
Do you ever do like meditation or like breath work or anything like that?
No, I've tried a little bit, nothing like with the assistance of somebody maybe doing it right. Um, what works what works for me is not being alone in my brain. And I know I would love to try to do therapy and go down that route. I haven't. I don't think it's out of fear. I just think it's out of complacency, because I'm doing good. Like, I like where I am. But if I tried meditation, and I can't be alone, I can't be quiet. There's no joy in that for me. So I guess my meditation would be doing things like nature, walking, going out and doing stuff. That's my meditation. I feel more at peace doing that, and my mind is empty doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think about that. Yeah, I can't not do something and be at peace. I have to be doing something to be quiet.
Yeah. Do you have a quote that you like a lot?
I do. It's obvious and kind of cheesy because a lot of people say it, but I really do thoroughly enjoy it. Joe Strummer said, "The future is unwritten," and it makes me know that I don't have control over what's going to happen. I just have control over what's happening.
Yeah. That's like huge.
Yeah, it is. And it's also it's scary and also fulfilling, because that means anything could be possible, but also anything can be possible.
Yeah.
So
But with a positive, more positive outlook and, you know, fully embracing like your self-worth and all that stuff, then you're more likely to be that anything's possible instead
yeah,
of,
yeah, exactly.
yeah. So the tagline for my business is delay dying, because I do the podcast, but then I also do the wellness coaching and I sell supplements,
Oh, okay.
like other like, you know, herbal sleep remedies and things.
Yay.
And so the tagline's delay dying. So I like to ask everybody, if you had to give someone tips or advice on how to delay dying, or just in other words, live happier and healthier, what would you say?
Live. This is, and all the stuff that's said is so cliche, but it's cliche for a reason. It's
Yep.
live. I remember this one bike ride in Yosemite. It's another like magical place I go to reconstruct. I'm on a bike ride, and I'm just riding through the valley, and I feel the wind on my hair, and I hear the sound of the wind, and there's nothing in my brain, because that's my meditation doing something. And I'm thinking, this is what it's like to be a dog. You're moving forward. There's peace and joy, and you're moving this direction, and that's all that's happening. And you're living in that moment
Yep.
to just experience that happiness. So yeah, that's just what I picture, like what it is to be a well-balanced dog. Just, I'm here and I'm okay.
Yeah. I love it. But that's it. It's embracing the now, because every moment is the now. Like, why be in the past and why be like hung up on the future? This is what's actually it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry. Nerd time real quick.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Star Trek, And there's this series called Deep Space Nine, and it starts off with the lead character, Captain Sisko. His wife had died and his son was still alive. And he's dealing with these things called the prophets, and they're all time travelers. And they don't understand linear time because they're ethereal beings. They don't understand life and death. And so they asked him, because he kept going back in his memory to the moment his wife was dying, and they kept going, why do you live here? Like, that's such a concept. Like, if you're linear, why do you live in that time? Because that's not now. And I was like, oh, that's powerful. Why do you live there?
That's such a good, like, that's like the kind of like thing that just like punches you in the face. You're like, whoa. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that was hard.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it's, obviously, like a lot of people struggle with it, but it's a daily practice to have awareness, to be like when, like, you're like all sad about something like that, for example. And it's like, but if you stop and zoom out in this moment, like watching TV or eating dinner, what's actually wrong in this moment? Nothing, generally.
Nothing. Yeah. But you can still feel those feelings and accept them, but not live in them.
Yes. And that's a good point too. It's like, you have to feel them. You have to understand them, because it's like through owning them and accepting them, that's the only way you're ever going to heal through or, progress through them anyway.
Those are the experiences that you grow and become who you are and learn why you're the way you are.
Yeah, totally. So do you guys have anything cool coming out, like March moving forward?
Oh yeah. We are, like I mentioned earlier, we are in the middle of writing an album, which is another emotional roller coaster for me. It's either super high or super low. I get really manic with it. So that's another experiment to deal with sober. Yay. But we're writing an album, and we're going to be doing a tour in all of June. We're going to be gone for 1 month. That's the only tours we're doing, because we were focusing on studio album work. But Bad Cop, touching base in Canada, and then hitting the East Coast finally with the Mad Caddies.
Oh, cool.
Finally. So that's our year. It's writing, month tour, writing.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. I'm excited for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited too.
I'm excited for the whole like experiences from, a clear mind and a healthier body. Like that's going to be cool, man.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Thank you for making time to hang out and to share. I love your perspective on like everything. And like, you still got that kind of like, cynical, nihilistic core, but like so much more love and, positivity and appreciation and stuff like that,
tons of love
around it. So,
yeah.
Cool.
You.
CPC crew running, bringing knuckles to brawl down a British engine, meaning getting traditional. Paint it up, spike it out, the gang is ready tonight. Take the 42 north past electric to right. For few of us though, we could never contend. The noise that kept it so close, but the words were spoken. It's the last episode when the buses stopped running and the blast led to right. Head ahead past the shoulders to the new music right. For few of us though, we could never contend. The music and the stars are burnt to